I'm Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. I'm here to review book number 2 in the Belgariad, Queen of Sorcery. That's why I wore my Stevie Nicks shirt, because she is, in rock music, the Queen of Sorcery. I just made that up. I don't think that's official. I think I just made that up. But anyway, I wear these rock and roll shirts all the time. I got to try to make them fit into the video somehow. Some way. Got to make my wardrobe make sense. Let's talk about the Queen of Sorcery, book number 2 in David Eddings' The Belgariad. I reviewed book number 1, Pawn of Prophecy, earlier, a few months ago. I will link to that video at the end of this video if you want to watch that review. I love David Eddings' books. I read these things when I was a kid. I reread them and reread them and reread them as a kid. And I can still reread them as an adult and love them. They age well because the writing is spectacular. David Eddings does an amazing job with his writing. You can study, if you want to be a writer, you can read these books and study how he does it. The word usage, his character building, his plot, his quests, all of that. Let's talk about the book itself. It's Wherein. Has had some adventures in book number 1, but he's just getting started. Got 5 books in the Belgariad. This is number 2. Now the adventure gets interesting because he's got his cast of characters around him. Polgara, the wolf, Silk, the farmer Dernick, Barrack, Mandaralin, Hetar. And then now we've got Senedra, the princess, the plucky princess that sort of follows the crew around and just whinges and whines the whole way through. And they go on an quest adventure down south. They get down into where the Queen of Sorcery's territories. And it's kind of a jungle thing, The one drawback I had about the whole series is when they went into the jungle in book 2, I wasn't too thrilled with it. I loved it because I like the more medieval sort of Scottish, English countryside type setting of the rest of the Belgariad series rather than the jungles of the Belgariad series. Just a thing of mine. Before that, we meet one of my favorite characters, or at least when I first met this guy, I thought I was going to be one of my favorite characters because I thought, they've met a new adventurer, and I really love him because he's good friends with Wherein, and I like his personality. But that was Leldoran, the archer. So Leldoran shows up at the early parts of this book, and he's just a bright spot in the series. He's just a bright spot in the books. And I got to tell you, he kind of disappears. A little spoiler warning, He kind of disappears about a third of the way through this book, and we don't see him. He gets injured on the quest and sort of bows out of the quest much like an injured football player, just sort of, I'm done in the first quarter. I sprained my knee. I'm out. Not going to go on the magical quest with you. It would be like, Frodo, Sam, and Pippin and Merry, if one of them, twists his ankle halfway to Rivendell and is just like, I think I'm going to sit this one out, guys. I'm limping a little. Just limping a little here, I'm going to sit it out. Well, it's kind of what happened with Leldoran. He's a great character, great introduction, great interplay, great dialogue between him and Wherein and the other characters. And it looks like we've got this fantastic new character to join our quest. And then he's just like, I think it's a little too hard for me. I think the adventure is gonna make me sick. I might need to just sit this one out, guys. Have fun on your adventure. Have fun storming a castle. But I'm gonna stay here. So I loved Leldoran. I loved his introduction. Loved the character. And he disappears. He quits. He quits halfway. He's like, I'm done. Anyway, but then they go down to the jungles with the Queen of Sorcery. And the one thing that's magical about this book is we get hints and teases that Geryon, our main character, is going to have some magical powers. Of course, because he's the orphan boy with a destiny, and we don't know his heritage. So clearly, he's going to save us from the Dark Lord at the end. I mean, it's very, very obvious that this is the adventure we're going on. Book 1 hints at some magic he may have. Book 2, he starts to experience this magic a little bit. And, you know, he's walking through walls, and he's burying himself accidentally, neck deep in the dirt, because he doesn't know how to control his magic. And it's just kind of cool. It's kind of cool to watch him fumble his way through these powers without really knowing what they're capable of, and having the other characters just be like, whoa. Well, they'll walk up onto him and be like, well, what did you do? What have you done? That's not the way you're supposed to use the magic, dude. You're going to get us all killed, you know. And little Doran, he's gone because he was sick. So he didn't get to see any of it. He didn't get to see any of Geryon, discover the magic, you know. And then another thing about this, which is similar to Lloyd Alexander's Prydain Chronicles, is, you know, in Prydain we had Turan and Elenwy, and in the Belgariad we get Geryon and Sinedra. Oh, they're just great. They're just like Turan and Elenwy in their relationship. It's a contentious, very contentious, very confrontational, and very they compete against each other a lot for attention. And Sinedra is just a little brat in this book, and then she grows, and her character grows throughout the series. But in this book, she's a brat, and you don't like her, and you're wishing someone would just slap her in the face, which Belgariad does a few times. Belgariad, puts her in her place a little bit. But that just makes her more bratty, right? These are great little books for people who love fantasy, especially young adults. I mean, I was a young adult when I got into these, and I just was taken away by the magic of it. And I'm rereading them now slowly over time just for my channel, because I think each one of them deserves a nice little review. They're that important to me. And so, Queen of Sorcery, book number 2. I didn't give away any spoilers. Well, I gave away the Lil Doran spoiler. Lil Doran quits. He's a quitter. Yes, we get a quest going, and one of the dudes is just like, done with it. Can't go anymore. I'm out. I'm outie. Done. I did spoil that part. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. All the other people, they got some stick-to-itiveness. They stick to it. They got some get up and go, and they're not afraid. They go on the adventure. They go on the quest. They go on a journey, and it's a great journey. I love following all these characters. I mentioned them. I'm not going to mention a whole lot more about what they do. It's great. Awesome. Queen of Sorcery. I give book 2 in the Belgariad a solid 8 out of 10. I think it is wonderful. I think everybody should read this series.